Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing fine. My name is Pooja Dwivedi, and on a daily basis at 6 p.m., I bring to you a very special class, the Daily Current Affairs. As a UPSC aspirant, I do understand how hard it is for you to balance both the static and the current affairs part, specifically right now when the world is becoming more eventful. We have so much to cover in such a little time. So the daily current affairs are a one-step solution. These classes will provide you everything at just one place. For current affairs, from the perspective of both prelims as well as the mains. You just have to follow the daily current affairs on a daily basis. Thereafter, you have to revise from the PDF that I provide you on my Telegram channel, that is by the name of Pooja Dwivedi UPSC. If you have any queries regarding this examination, talk to me on my Instagram, follow me on my thread if you want to. Now, these are the various events that we have to cover. Last time I asked a question with respect to the payloads of Aditya L1. Now, let's solve it together. By the end of this class, I will announce the names of those students who have answered this question correctly. Which of the following payloads of Aditya L1 will capture the UV image of the solar photosphere and chromosphere? VLEC, PAPA, SOOT or SOLEX? Now we know which vehicle carried Aditya L1. What is the purpose of Aditya L1? On which date it was launched? At which point of the Lagrange it will be situated at? But you have to go deeper. You have to in-depth study what Aditya L1 is all about. We know that this is our first ever solar mission, ISRO's first ever solar mission, and of course there are many other space agencies who are also involved in it. Aditya L1 is going to carry 7 payloads. How many payloads? 7 payloads. And each payload has a specific purpose. One of the payloads has the purpose to do the UV imaging of the solar photosphere and chromosphere. And this is be done by Solar Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope, SUIT, SUIT. Even if you know the full form of it, even if you may not have studied what its purpose is, you have to remember certain things. Many of the students do ask me, ma'am, how many things do we have to remember? You have to remember, I'm sorry, you have to deal with it. You have to revise constantly so that you do not miss out on anything. The competition is pretty tough for prelims because prelims is where anybody can, participate. But mains is something that has an advantage, constricted and restricted syllabus and fewer number of people. That is why you must leave no stone unturned. So SUIT is the correct answer. Aditya L1 has been launched by ISRO in order to study the solar atmosphere, and it is going through continuous trajectory corrections so that it can be situated at Lagrange 1. There are 5 Lagrange points between the Sun and the Earth. Lagrange 1 is situated here, and Lagrange points are those points where the gravity of two huge heavenly bodies are working in such a manner that they are pulling objects towards each other. Because of that, this particular area will remain a constant space for parking anything. But the thing is that constantly we all have to understand, even if Aditya L1 will be placed here, it will also have to correct its trajectory time and over again so that it can remain here, because sometimes the gravity of the sun can become so pulling that it can be moved from its correct spot. While Lagrange 1 has been selected, it is selected because it wants to get the constant look or visual of the sun, and this point is completely free of any kind of eclipse. That is why. Alright, so Aditya L1 will be carrying certain payloads. I will talk about the payloads, but remember it has been carried by the PSLV XL variant. Why XL variant? Because it has 6 extended strap-on boosters, which makes it larger than the boosters of other configuration, and that means more payloads can be carried by it. So 7 payloads. One of them is visible emission line coronagraph, that is VLEC. This will study solar corona from the lowermost part upwards. Then we have solar ultraviolet imaging telescope that will study UV image of the solar photosphere and chromosphere. It will capture it. It will also examine the variation in the light energy that is emitted. Then we have Solex and Helios. These will analyze X-ray flares. Then we have Aspects, Aditya Solar Wind Particle Experiment, and Plasma Analyzer package for Aditya. These will study the solar winds and energetic ions. So remember, these kind of questions can be asked. You can also be given, consider the following pairs, payloads will be given, and specific purpose can be given, and then you have to match it. Moving on, with respect to the International Criminal Court, choose the incorrect statement. It was established under a 1998 treaty called the Rome Statute. Afghanistan is a member of the ICC. The ICC has never issued an arrest warrant against a P5 member of the UNSC, and the ICC can practice its jurisdiction over cases referred by the United Nations Security Council to it. Recently, the prosecutor of ICC has said that the Hamas attacks as well as the counter-attacks by Israeli forces, they fall under the prosecution of the ICC. Continuous war crimes are being committed by either or both the parties. Okay, so that is why. ICC actually was established by a 1998 treaty, that is correct, and this treaty was called the Rome Statute. So I can also twist the words, put the Hague Statute over here, and it is situated in The Hague, Netherlands, the headquarters of it. So remember, these kind of small things that UPSC can do to confuse you, you must not be confused. Remember, Rome Statute and 1998. Then Afghanistan surprisingly is a member of the ICC. Also, Britain is. Also, Germany is. But do you know which country is not? The USA, India, China. These are not the members of the ICC. And the ICC has issued an arrest warrant against a P5 member. Do you know who it is? Vladimir Putin. So C is going to be incorrect from that perspective. Many of you must be thinking B is correct, the correct answer. How can Afghanistan be a part of the ICC? And the ICC can practice its jurisdiction over the cases that are referred to it by the United Nations Security Council. C is going to be the correct answer over here. Moving on, The Hague, Netherlands has the headquarters of the ICC, and it investigates wherever it is warranted, tries individuals who are charged with the gravest crimes in the international community such as genocide, war crimes, crime against humanity, and the crime of aggression. Remember, the ICC tries individuals, but we have 123 countries, just 123 countries are a party to it. Britain, Japan, Afghanistan, and Germany. USA, India, and China have abstained from any sort of membership. They can prosecute, ICC can prosecute the most heinous offences only when a country's own legal machinery fails to do so. But ICC, the powers of it have been limited after it came into effect on July 1st, 2002. If any crime has come into effect after this date, the powers are pretty limited. The offences should be committed when arrest warrant has been issued. It can be given only when, or trial can only be done when, the offences should be carried in the country that has ratified the treaty or by a national of the ratifying country. Remember. So territories do matter over here. Moving on. With respect to the Global Hunger Index of 2023, this is the 16th edition. Consider the following statements. India has fared better than Pakistan and Bangladesh, but worse than Sri Lanka and Nepal. India falls in the serious category with a score of 29.8 out of 100. Belarus is one of the top performing countries with a score of less than 5. So how many statements given above is or are correct? See, recently the 16th edition of the Global Hunger Index 2023 has come. Global Hunger Index has come. Why am I telling you 16th edition? Because sometimes edition can be asked and year is not given. So be very careful about it. 16th edition for this year, 2023. And the Global Hunger Index measures hunger based on different parameters such as undernourishment, child mortality under the age of 5, child wasting, child stunting. So on these many parameters, the Global Hunger Index measures if your nationals are hungry or not. India has received a rank of 111 out of 125 countries. And this is because According to the allegations of the Indian government, this is because of the wrongness in the methodology that they are using. I have covered this controversy in detail on StudyIQ IAS English channel. Do watch it. So it will be very beneficial to write answers. I am also going to give an answer writing for this particular session today at 9 p.m. If you're interested, please do contact me on Telegram. Okay, India has actually fared worse than Pakistan also. Pakistan has received 102nd position. Even Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and Nepal are doing better than us according to the index. So first statement is incorrect. India does fall in the serious category, but the score is wrong over here. I will tell you the score. Then Belarus is one of the top performing countries with a score of less than 5. This is correct. So first and second are incorrect, third is correct, one only will be the correct answer. The score is 28.7. Here it was written 29.8. Sometimes score can be specifically asked. So remember the score is 28.7. The Global Hunger Index. It gave us a position of 107 in 2022. Before that, we were 101st. Now we are 111th out of how many countries? 125 countries. Sometimes the number of countries on which the ranking is based can also be in variation because of the lack of data. So that is why we see fluctuation in the total number of countries. Remember that. Okay. So what is the Global Hunger Index? It is an annual peer-reviewed report. Peer-reviewed means that different researchers can get an access from the data that is widely available, review it and then give their inputs. And this is actually jointly published by Concern Worldwide and Welt Hunger Life, which is a private organization in Germany. And since the year 2000, it has been brought out almost every year because this is an annual report. The current one is the 16th report. See, there is a ranking based on the scores. The score is done from 100. If any country is receiving a score of 9.9 or below, then not percentage, beg your pardon, 9.9 and below, then they are okay. The score is pretty low. If any country is receiving a score between 20 to 34.9, then it is serious, like India's position is serious. After 34.9 to 50, it is alarming, and beyond 50, it is extremely alarming. So India falls in the serious category. As I told you that undernourishment, child wasting, that means wasting means low weight for height. Weight is low as compared to the height, as in a person should have a certain amount of weight for their height. If they do not have that, it is termed as wasted. Stunting is low height for age. Then we have under 5 mortality rate. All these are given weightages and accordingly we measure hunger. Belarus, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Chile, China, Croatia. These are certain countries that have scored less than 5. That means hunger situation is pretty nice over there. And India has ranked 111th out of 125 countries. We have a score of 28.7. Pakistan is 102nd. Bangladesh is 81st. Nepal is 69th and Sri Lanka is 60th. You must be thinking, how is Pakistan doing better than us? Please go and watch the series that I have covered for it. Then we have fared better than South Asian Africa or south of Sahara. Okay, moving on. Rate of undernourishment, that means lack of proper nourishment through food supply, rests at 16.6%. Under 5 mortality is 3.1%. Prevalence of anemia is 58.1% between 15 and 24 years of aged women. Highest child wasting is recorded in the world for us. It is 18.7%. The problem is that the data that is provided is behind a paywall. I have told you everything. Please do watch that. You can write an amazing answer through that. With respect to the Gaza Strip, consider the following statements. It is completely surrounded by Israel and the Mediterranean Sea. It is inhabited by only Muslims who are predominantly Sunni. So, which of the statements given above is or are not correct? The correct answer, I hope you know it. I hope you know that it is not only surrounded by Israel, but also Mediterranean Sea and Egypt. Because here an extreme word was used, completely. So these are the kind of keywords you have to have a pinpoint upon. You can put a finger on it. If there is an extreme word used, you have to think harder. Okay. So first statement is incorrect. Also, it is not only inhabited by Muslims of Sunni denomination, but also Christians. Christians also reside there. Here is also a proper extreme word written, only. So both the statements are incorrect. How many are not correct, or which ones are not correct? Both 1 and 2 are not correct. Gaza Strip has a population of 2.1 million people, most densely populated areas it is in the world. That is why we are registering such high number of deaths in the retaliation attack by Israel. And as you can see, recently the Israeli military has said, please evacuate North Gaza because we are going to bombard it or whatever they are going to do. But they have said we are not going to do it. Where would they go? Then they have the Mediterranean Sea over here. Many innocent lives are also being lost, and Hamas also, this is in retaliation to the Operation Al-Aqsa flood that Israel military is now doing this operation. We have also found out that Israel has made an emergency government. That is also covered by me. Do watch that. With respect to the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Act of 2021, consider the following statements. It permits an abortion up to 20 weeks following an opinion of one registered medical practitioner. Then, it also includes unwanted pregnancies due to the failure of contraceptives as a ground for abortion up to 20 weeks. It brings within the fold of the law pregnancies outside marriage institution. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? See, recently there is a lot of debate going on about a woman who wants to medically terminate her 26 weeks of pregnancy. And because the time has progressed so much in her gestation period, it is becoming harder to judge. Where do we draw the line? Although we have the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act of 1971 that could not meet the demands of the current generation. So, any law, if it wants to regulate people, it has to ensure that it is changing with time. That is why we had the amendment of 2021, which says that an abortion of up to 20 weeks can be done, but after an opinion is registered or gotten from a registered medical practitioner. So, first is correct. It also includes unwanted pregnancies that have happened due to the failure of contraceptives as a ground of abortion. If you do not want a child, you have failed to, curb, not abort. We wouldn't use the word abort here. If you were not able to prohibit the embryo from forming because of the failure of contraceptive, either pills, condoms, or anything, then also it can be a ground for terminating pregnancy for up to how many weeks? 20 weeks. I could also write here 24 weeks, but you have to remember it is 20 weeks. The termination amendment of this particular act is so progressive that it has replaced the words women by any woman or her husband from a woman or her partner. Now, this also has brought the pregnancies that are getting outside of the marriage institution, that are being conceived outside marriage. So, this is a progressive act, because pregnancies outside marriage are considered as a social stigma. And because of the stigma, many women end up getting their pregnancies aborted in a really dangerous condition. That is why it was important to do so. So, first is correct, second is correct, third is also correct. All three will be the correct answer. Even our Chief Justice of India said that this particular act is very progressive in nature as compared to other Western countries as well. So, the amendments permitted abortion up to 20 weeks, the current one, 2021. Following an opinion of the one registered medical practitioner, abortion was allowed up to 24 weeks for certain classes of women according to the medical termination of pregnancy rules, specifically Rule 3B. It says that if the marital status of a woman has changed during her pregnancy for up to 24 weeks, then they can do it. They can terminate it medically. Although we know widowhood and divorce are grounds as for that. Survivors of rape, victims of incest, and other vulnerable women who are differently abled or minors, they are also under this ambit. It has also replaced the word by any married woman or her husband with words any woman or her partner. This is great. Unwanted pregnancies due to the failure of contraceptives as ground for abortion up to 20 weeks is also allowed. Now, P2Y batches have been launched. Wait. I will give you a practice question. Have to announce the names as well. P2Y batches are launched from 10th of October. 15th of October is the last date to take admission. Not only you will be covering your GS part, but also CSAT, ethics, essay, prelims test series, mains test series, daily answer writing practice. A StudyIQ campus program is also there. That means if you have qualified the designated UPSC prelims, you will be called to the StudyIQ campus to prepare with us for the mains examination for 4 months free of any extra charges. There are silver batches, gold and platinum. So if you want to take admission in silver batch, the validity is up to 18 months and it costs 23,999. Gold is 26,999 for 30 months. Platinum is 29,999 for 42 months. According to your own necessity, take admission. Make sure you use the code PDLive. Okay. Moving on. The Gaon Bikash scheme is a scheme of Assam, Tripura, Odisha, West Bengal. The correct answer to this question is option C, Odisha. Chief Minister of Odisha, on the grounds of Gaon Bikash, has launched a scheme Ama Odisha, Nabeen Odisha, in which every panchayat of the state will get an assistance of rupees 50 lakh to protect places of worship, upgrade sites of historical significance, and improving rural infrastructure and digital access. This was because of a scheme that was launched after the 2017 Panchayat polls, which was a game changer for the BJD government in 2019. That was Gaon Vikash, in which the CM directly interacted with the people through video conferencing and also sanctioned the projects according to their needs. Moving on. This is the practice question that you have to solve, and I will take your names in the next class. The Sendai framework, often seen in the news, is related to disaster management, refugee crises, food security, war crimes. Let me take the names of those students who have answered my last question correctly. Alright, stay with me for a moment if you have answered it. Otherwise, those of you who are new, you can answer it and keep continuing the other parts as well. Simran has answered it correctly. Mansi, Nikhil, Rashika, Pavan Sai, Sona, the Telegram channel name is Pooja Dwivedi UPSC. You can search it. It's a public platform on Telegram. Okay. Then we have user Abul. Thank you so much. Indra has answered it correctly. Priya, thank you so much. Priya Darshan. Then Padmashri, Shubham, Abhishek, Spurti, Pulkit, Devashish, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. Prabhat. No, Krishna did not answer, but I had to thank him. Prabhat, Swati, Mitlesh, thank you so much. Bachu, thank you so much, Bachu, for giving us the full form of suit as well. Manish, Raghuveer, thank you so much for answering the last question. Answer this one as well. See you soon.